Hi everybody, welcome back. So I'm ready to do the reading for you for the next moon phase. I wanted to have a little background music, so hopefully it doesn't bother you guys. Turn the screen off though so it doesn't distract me in the film. But I just wanted to thank you guys for always, following my videos and looking forward to them. I really enjoy making these for you. I know my channel has kind of changed a little bit over time, but hopefully you guys still enjoy it and find it beneficial for you. I wanted to let you all know that I am going to be doing a holiday special for Christmas. So I'm going to be doing my my larger reading. I'm going to be having that one on sale. Gosh, sorry, my cats always get crazy when I start to read. The larger reading is going to be on sale for $45. And I normally don't do that. I think the lowest I've offered that one is $50. And I'm going to do the 5-card reading for $25. So I'm going to be doing that, let's see, I'm going to say until the 20th, right before Christmas, I think is a good time for that. So until the 20th, if you guys are interested in ordering a reading from me, I would love to give you for you. And if you have any sort of special requests, go ahead and email me and we can discuss something if you had something specific you wanted me to read on. So that being said, I already saged the area already. I've cleared the cards. I'm going to go ahead and say my prayer and move forward with this reading. Okay. So I ask that the messages that come through at this time be for the highest good of everybody involved. Please show us not what we want to know, but what we need to know for everyone's absolute divine highest good. Allow me to be an instrument of Spirit to convey the messages in the way that Spirit intended from the highest truth without bias or any interference in a way that is easiest for everybody to understand. May everybody who's watching this video get at least one message, and may it speak and find those who need to hear them. Okay, so let me go ahead and see what it's doing here. Keep shuffling real quick. That card flew out. Okay, so I feel guided to do a longer reading today. I'm going to do I'm going to start with 10 cards, 5 for the Divine Masculine, 5 for the Divine Feminine, and then I'll do kind of advice kind of as it comes out. As always, I like to do the Divine Masculine first. Let me also state, this is probably not an issue for anybody who's watching here, but I had a disagreement with somebody on Facebook over the concept of Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. Sorry, I'm getting pulled to pull cards. Okay, over the idea of Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, where somebody was talking about gender roles in society. This is not about gender roles. This is about the spiritual concept. This isn't about any specific gender and saying certain qualities or things have to do with Divine Masculine or Feminine. It's an archetype. It's a representative idea. We all have this within ourselves, and masculine and feminine, the qualities, nothing is inherently masculine or feminine. Nothing is necessarily better or worse than the other, But I just wanted to say that since it came up this week. Okay, so the card that flew out, I'm going to read this in tandem with the bottom of the deck, okay? So the bottom of the deck, and hopefully you can read this here, is the 4 of Hearts. Okay, and this is this is a tapestry deck, I believe. I don't know where to get it. It was given to me secondhand. But anyway, it's a 4 of Hearts, or 4 of Cups, and Justice, or the subconscious energy. So the energy that I'm getting here is that there's going to be some sort of fair, balanced decision that's kind of come to, that Spirit is, has been giving this offer, because the 4 of Cups, cups represent emotions, right? Is generally represents somebody who is being given an offer, seemingly by Spirit. It shows this cup being handed over, and it's not necessarily being particularly well regarded. It's kind of being ignored while they're looking off at other things. And it kind of represents boredom or not looking at an opportunity closely because they're emotionally preoccupied or discontented with something else. So what I'm seeing here is when you have this paired with the Justice card, which has to do with, just decisions, balance, it's an 11, right, which is related to twin energy, or the balancing of the divine masculine and feminine, right, the two ones there. When I see these together, I see that this is Spirit saying the underlying theme is that God, the universe, Spirit, whatever you want to call it, is offering something, and it hasn't been, up until now, particularly received or paid attention to. And so this energy of, accepting what is given to you from Spirit, given to you fairly, given in balance, is really, I feel, is really important, because it's, when Spirit gives you a gift, it's for a reason. So I think that this is going to be a time of balancing what we're being offered and really weighing the pros and cons of what's going on. As many of you know, we are entered a Mercury retrograde period. It isn't inherently bad, but it does have to do with reflecting on the things of the past and kind of assessing where we are. And I think that's kind of what's going on, is that, the scales of justice are weighing what has happened. So this kind of energy of not taking what is being offered to you, it's now going to be weighed and judged, and you're going to kind of have to look and balance and see, like, what's fair, what isn't, and what do I want in a balanced partnership. Okay, so let's start first with the card that represents the thoughts of the divine masculine right now. Okay, we have the Nine of Pentacles. Pentacles represent earth. Earth is tangible things. Earth is our five senses. Earth has to do with what we value. If you're going to hear noise over there, my cats are playing with some toys that the guy I'm dating gave them. So I apologize if you hear that in the background. But Nine of Pentacles has to do with feeling self-sufficient, feeling that you're in a good place, your finances are pretty good, your life is pretty good, you're content, you're happy, you feel that many of your wishes have been fulfilled in a practical sense. The only thing that isn't really there is a romantic relationship, but it's at a point where everything is in place, you're ready. So I feel that mentally the divine masculine has put all of his things in a row. He's, dealing with his career and finally feels like he's in a place where he feels secure and set. He's dealing with his emotional things and his money and all of these other things. And I think that he's coming to a place where, okay, I've got all of the other things that I value taken care of and ready. I am now at a point where I'm starting to feel that I can look at the relationship part now. This other part, it's 9 is a number of completion. Okay. So having the Nine of Pentacles in this section means everything else is complete and they're ready to go. If you think, and this is, when I pulled the bottom of the deck card before, this is underneath it, and this is probably why. The card underneath it is the Ten of Pentacles, okay? Ten of Pentacles is the complete, content, American dream, fulfilling family life, the kid, the house, the dog, the money, all you could want, okay? So if you think about that, the progression is after the 9 is the Ten of Pentacles. So in the Nine of Pentacles, you have somebody who's alone and has everything except the relationship. But in the Ten of Pentacles, they have a full family, a wife, a house, a kids, grandkids, whatever. The divine masculine, I feel, is at a point where they're thinking, okay, I'm ready to start moving forward now. I've got all of these other things kind of laid out, one after the other, and I'm mentally at a place where I can start looking at this and not feel freaked out, because Pentacles, being earth, is a stable energy. It feels secure unless there's an earthquake, which is a rare thing, but when it happens, it's monumental, right? But I feel that the divine masculine mentally is thinking, okay, I've squared away everything else. I can start to look here because I feel secure. Okay, so this next card is the feelings of the divine masculine. So we have the Queen of Swords. Okay, so this is going to mean a couple different things for different people. Some people are going to, it's going to be that the Divine Masculine is specifically thinking of you if you associate with this Queen of Swords energy. Okay, or maybe you feel that somebody looks like this card. I feel like some of you might be thinking, hey, that looks a lot like me. So with the feelings of the Queen of Swords, the Divine Masculine is trying to be logical, but not logical and clear and concise about his emotions without being consumed by them. He's trying to be kind of objective, but any sort of Queen energy is going to be a little bit softer than the King. Not less powerful, but just there's going to be a slightly more fluid energy there. The Queen of Swords can be a little cutting, but I'm not getting that vibe in this case. I just feel that it might be, it's like when somebody says something and they're just really blunt, but it's not bad. I'm getting the feelings here is that it's like when somebody says something without any fluff, they just get right to the point. And I feel that the Divine Masculine is finding the clarity to hone in on their feelings. They're like, okay, this is how I feel. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is where I am. So even if it says even if they're saying something like "I love you," it would just be, "Hey, look, I love you," and it doesn't feel warm and fuzzy. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It kind of depends on where things have been with the Divine Masculine in your particular life. But I feel that this is a good place because if you see the butterfly, it's right on the crown. Okay, so I feel there's a transformation in their thought process because swords represent thoughts. They're the element of air. It's communication. So their thoughts are transforming and they're allowing themselves to blossom and their wings to spread so they can kind of travel and do kind of what they want to do in the relationship and move forward. I think that they feel that there's a lot that they need to communicate and that they haven't expressed their feelings in a way that is as direct as they probably should be. So they definitely feel that they have a lot to say and communicate as far as what they feel now that I feel like, finally have a clear grasp on what it is. Okay, so this is what the Divine Masculine is hiding or not revealing to the Divine Feminine. So this could be hiding intentionally or not. You can take it from you intuitively. But this is what they're hiding from the Divine Feminine. Okay, so I have the Five of Swords. Okay, so again, swords represent thoughts. And the Five of Swords has to do with winners and losers. It has to do with feeling defeated. The Divine Masculine, I feel like, is fighting like anxiety and low self-esteem, low self-worth, just feelings of, feeling like they can't win. They're in a no-win situation. There's something that's plaguing them, and that these thoughts, these swords, swords can be sharp. They cut. That's the purpose. You can use knives and swords and things like that are used to either help us, like say, to cut something like cords or paper or food or whatever, we can use it, or it could be used to harm and used as a weapon. So in this case, I feel that many of the Divine Masculines have this mental thoughts are becoming kind of weapons on themselves. It's typically the Five of Swords is not necessarily associated with anxiety, but I do feel that there's a little bit of that anxiety feeling. It's not that overwhelming feeling, but just that almost like feeling like I'm going to make a wrong choice and somebody's going to lose out, and it's probably going to be me. Because the main things about the Five of Swords are a winner and a loser, having some sort of fight with somebody, a fight maybe of words, where it's just not, you're kind of butting heads, and, you just feel like it's a no-win situation. So he's hiding this. So I think that the Divine Masculine is having negative thoughts about where he thinks things are going to go, not because he necessarily thinks there's anything bad with the relationship, but just I feel like he's kind of in like a kind of, I don't want to say dark night of the soul because I think it's a little extreme. Maybe for some that'll apply. But I feel like he's just having some moments of self-doubt, and there's just something that's just not sitting well with him. And he's kind of just not sharing that because he doesn't want to spread this negativity. Because if you think about it, he mentally knows everything's pretty much good. It's almost like he's hiding the fact that he thinks like, eventually I'm gonna get the short end of the stick. If things have been going well, I'm probably gonna lose out at some point. I can't win all the time. So that could be part of the thought process as well. Next card, what the Divine Masculine wants. Okay, so first major arcana in the main reading here. Okay, we have the Judgment card. And it's funny, I was wondering if the Judgment card would show up when I saw the Justice one fly out. So Judgment has to do with kind of receiving a message from the heavens. You think of the trumpeting angel that's sharing a message and from God that's sent to enlighten us and kind of give us that kind of shake up. And so what I'm getting here is that the Divine Masculine wants clarity and wants it to just like make sense and just almost like appear like, yes, this is the answer. This is the way to fix this. This right here is how I prevent myself from feeling like I'm in a no-win situation. This right here is the direction I'm meant to go. And he's almost like waiting for the right moment for it to just kind of fall in front of him and just like, yes, now is the time that you do this. This doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, but this is kind of what he's longing for. He wants it to intuitively, whether it be through spirit telling him, if he's intuitive, or if he just is waiting for the signs, to not synchronicity, but luck, right? Chance to give him an opportunity where it just makes sense and everything kind of lays out in a way it's supposed to, where he feels it'll work out in his favor. But I feel he's ready to move. He's ready to make a choice. Part of the Judgment card is like if you're in a relationship, it could be that like, I suddenly see them and realize that the monumental worth that they have, you know what I mean? Like the connection that you have with somebody. And I feel that he wants to be able to act on that and make a choice like to move forward. But I feel he's just waiting for some sort of sign or something to tell him, yes, this is the direction, this is what I need to do, this is where I want to go. Okay. So this is what the Divine Masculine is revealing to the Divine Feminine, or what she'll see. Another major arcana, we have Death. Okay. And instinctively, I'm thinking of the butterfly again. So I feel that this has to do with his feelings. Okay. Again, we have the butterfly here. So the Death card, he's going to, I feel, express some sort of transformation in his feelings that he's had. Because if you think of a butterfly, it starts off as a caterpillar, and the caterpillar seemingly dies before it becomes this next transformed thing. And that's kind of what the cycle of death. It's you go and you're born, you live, and then things die, and seemingly it cycles again. If you look at the season, say if you're not thinking about people, some people believe in reincarnation, some don't. But if you look at the seasons, after winter, spring does come again. So there is that cycle of rebirth, and it's a transformation from, a shift from one thing to another. I just kind of feel like it's doing this, The Divine Masculine, something has changed for him recently, and it's huge. It's a huge change because this is the major arcana, which means it's a large, encompassing theme. Here you have a skeleton, but he's walking forward, and in the background you see like it looks like a shift. I don't know if that's day to night, or if that's, again, the seasons like I was talking about, but he's moving forward in a new direction. It's almost like he was over here in this color and he's moving here. And so I feel that he's going to be inclined to want to communicate that there has been some sort of shift for him. Shifts aren't necessarily bad. And I think as I pull and show more of the cards, that'll hopefully reveal a little bit more of what kind of shift that is. All right, so next I'm going to go to the Divine Feminine because I pulled the other cards, but I want to do the main ones first. So this card here is where the thoughts of the Divine Feminine are. Okay, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So he was the Nine of Pentacles. We have the 8 here. That's pretty congruent energy. So mentally, the masculine and feminine are in similar places. The Eight of Pentacles has to do with building something. Okay, it's like a craftsman trying to. They show them with the pentacles or coins or whatever it is in whatever deck you like to look at, but they have these little coins that they're kind of putting the pentacle on, and you see them chiseling and making a set of them, like an artisan craftsman or some sort of apprentice. So, and it's also representative or represented by the number 8. 8 has to do with infinity. Again, that kind of cycle energy that I was talking about with the Death card, which, on a slight tangent, that might be, if you think about Scorpio, the 8th house represents death, right? So what I'm getting is that the Divine Feminine is wanting to figure out how to work and move forward with what she's built. Because the Eight of Pentacles is about working and investing and building something of value and honing your skills. So mentally, she's got these things that she's working on. She's working on her craft, working on herself, working on the relationship, and just trying to improve it. Not necessarily that there's something wrong, but just in the natural sense of always seeking to improve and better. You know, and so I think that the Divine Feminine is thinking about the next logical steps, the next skills that she needs, and just about being present. It's showing that an investment in what is there. And it's not a particularly romantic card either. It's not a particularly dependent energy, but that I am seeing that there. There's not a whole lot to say with that. I feel a lot of that might have to do with mission. I know for me personally, I've started really feeling compelled to work on my card deck again. I've had kind of like an artistic slump with that, and so I was reading personally with them, but I haven't used them here, and I didn't have any artwork here. I've kind of been sitting on it, and I noticed in the past like 2 weeks, I've all of a sudden had this rush of that coming through. So many Divine Feminines might be feeling the need to work on their craft and themselves and what fuels them as well too. And that would make sense because the Divine Masculine has a very kind of self-sufficient energy. So if the Divine Feminine is kind of in that self-nurturing energy, but nurturing her own interests and her skills, that would make a lot of sense too. Okay, so the feelings of the Divine Feminine. We have the Ace of Wands. Okay, so wands represent fire, passion, you know, it's sparks, you know. Yeah, I think of kind of like lightning even, you know, kind of electric energy. She's feeling passionate. She's feeling like she's ready to start something. She is feeling like there's the seeds of creative potential, whether that be just in the dynamic or like I was saying, like there's kind of spark of creative things even in my own life that I'm starting to feel where I want to move forward with things. So it could also be a sexual energy. It could also be wanting to have a family, because it's all of the aces kind of represent a seeding, especially the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, you know, the creation of life. So the Divine Feminine is thinking a lot emotionally and mentally, how do I create what fuels me? How do I create what I'm passionate about? Whether that's a relationship, outside, or both. And so I think that that's that energy and that heat and that excitement is definitely showing up in how she's feeling. And that is, you know, in a bit of a contrast to the Divine Masculine. In fact, I might pull an extra card, I think, after this. I've gone through these, if I remember, on the Divine Masculine's feelings card to see if I can get a little more clarity on what he might want to communicate as far as in that Queen of Swords energy. Okay, what is the Divine Feminine hiding Again, whether that's intentional or subconsciously, what is she hiding from the Divine Masculine? Okay. We have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands are often called the arrows of love. So, Cupid's arrows, things moving fast. Again, that's kind of in opposition to that swords energy. So, feminine is feeling really passionate and like go-getter and moving forward. And Divine Masculine is feeling a bit defeated. So I feel that if you're in communication in your Divine partnership, the Divine Feminine might need to use her passion and that motivating energy to kind of support a little bit. If you guys have a good rapport to help, just be the life. Nobody's perfect all the time. And so you guys can kind of balance each other out if he's feeling a little defeated in his mind. But Eight of Wands, so there's going to be fast-moving communication, creative things coming up, and she's kind of keeping this hidden. So there's more, because we have the Ace of Wands. That's a passionate energy. Imagine that times 8. There's so much passion and enthusiasm flying her way underneath the surface, and she hasn't even really expressed that. There's a lot of feeling there, a lot of intensity, and it's not bad. It's really good, but she's holding it back. And I think it has to do with until she's, at a place where she's built more with these pentacles, or, she feels that she can relate to him better. So hopefully we'll see what the other cards have to reveal about it. What the Divine Feminine wants. Okay. So this is going to seem a little silly, but I think I know where this is going here. So what she wants is the Three of Swords. Okay, so the Three of Swords typically has a heart with 3 swords stabbed through it, so it's not exactly the most positive card. Most people think, why would I want that? I think what the Divine Feminine wants is to clear up any sort of issues relating to heartbreak and miscommunications of the heart. I feel that she wants to express what she's feeling and, pull these swords out so it can finally heal and be done. And so she can move forward, whether that be in something in the relationship or not. There might be a third party energy that she wants to just, clarify and clear that out. Maybe talk about it so it can be healed. The Divine Feminine doesn't want to be heartbroken. She wants to move past that. And it might be related to what the Divine Masculine has, since he does have the Judgment card, which is, making a decision to do something, and feeling guided. But the Divine Feminine definitely wants to move past these feelings of pain and distress and move on to a relationship and a place in her life where she doesn't feel heartbroken, where she can feel safe to explore and spread her wings. And I don't particularly read reverse, so that when I pull a card, it's intuitive whether or not, based on the position, kind of where it is. So in case you're wondering with that. Okay, so what the Divine Feminine is revealing to the Divine Masculine, we have the Ten of Wands. So there's a lot of wands and fiery energy here with the Divine Feminine. Got lipstick on my finger here. Sorry about that. So the Divine Feminine is a little bit overwhelmed. There's kind of a little bit on her plate. She might be high energy, high stress, a little frazzled, but not necessarily bad. It might be in response to whatever the Divine Masculine is revealing to her. So she might be shouldering that burden and trying to carry a little more weight because he is feeling in a defeated mindset. I think of the saying, don't ask God for a lighter load, pray for a stronger back. She's just carrying a lot. There's a lot going on. Not bad, but it's just going to be some challenges as far as energy reserves. You're just going to feel a little bit worn. It might just be because of the holidays. Go, go, go. I know that I've had like 6 holiday events already, and it's only the second week of December. Barely the second week of December. So, and I know I've got at least 3 more. So, it might just be that, just feeling a little bit overwhelmed with everything that's going on. Okay, so I pulled some extra cards here. Before I go into those, I think I'm going to pull that extra card that I wanted for the Divine Masculine before I forget. So again, Spirit, give me a little more clarity on the feelings of the Divine Masculine. What is he feeling so terse about? He's feeling Queen of Swords, so he's feeling direct, and he's feeling analytical, and he's feeling like he needs to communicate directly about it. What is these feelings that he's going to do? Okay, whatever this card is. Okay. So the card that kind of clarified a little bit is a Major Arcana. If I can pull it up. All right, we have the Emperor. Okay, so the Emperor's logical. So that kind of goes in line with the that Swords energy, right? So the Emperor is logical, and he has to do things in a set way, and feeling like he has to kind of be in control of it. Not necessarily controlling, you know, because the Emperor, I feel like people who try to be controlling are generally controlling because they lack power or they feel the need to gain more power. The Emperor comes with power. I don't feel like he's necessarily controlling. He has to rule, and so he does. I just feel that the Divine Masculine is feeling like he has to kind of step up and take a leadership role, and is very kind of just, he's not feeling emotional about these. He's just like, okay, these are the brass tacks. These are the brass tacks. Here are the facts. This is what I have to do. This is where I am. Here you go. It's like, I almost feel like if he were going to enter a relationship, he'd go, here's my contract. Do you want to sign this? Would you like to be in this partnership? Here are the pros and cons, whatever. You know, or like a prenup, that kind of energy. It's like, it's not necessarily bad, but it's like, it's factual. This is what it is. And it, you know, it might not be the soft, fuzzy, warm, fuzzy feelings that you would want. But hopefully that clarifies a little bit of where he is. He's logically just feeling like he needs to communicate his power, but not power over, but just to step into his power and be forthcoming and make steps and strides towards the future that he wants. He has to do it, and he knows he has to be the one to step forward and do it. I think that's what it is. It's that he feels that he needs to be the Emperor. He needs to be the man. He needs to be in control of his emotions and his wants and step forward and do it, even though he wants Spirit to kind of come down with this Judgment card and do it for him. Oh, sorry, it's a scented candle and it's a little strong. Even though he wants Spirit to kind of guide him and do it, he knows that it has to be him to do this. It's, you know, for his own development. He has to be the one to step forward. Okay. So, I pulled one card for the advice of the Divine Masculine, advice for the Divine Feminine, and there's 3 cards of kind of where they're headed together. And these 3 cards are kind of read as like a sentence or a story, as like one thing, if that makes sense. Okay, so the advice for the Divine Masculine. Okay, we have 10 of Swords. So the advice for the Divine Masculine is, don't let your thoughts overwhelm you. Don't let your thoughts wound you. It's most of the pain and worries and all this stuff going on is in your head. You know, because you can do what you need to do. You can step forward. You can have these things, but you have to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone, to get out of your own head, to be willing to do and say and communicate how you're feeling. It might be uncomfortable to change. You know, again, the Death card, that's revealing a change, but that's okay. It's not the end of the world. You will survive it. You know, a little discomfort, you know, it builds character. It helps us develop. If things were comfortable all the time, we would never grow. Don't let your thoughts over encumber you. Okay? You can do it. Don't be scared. Okay, so Divine Feminine, the advice for you is we have Major Arcana, the Chariot. So keep plowing forward, trusting your spiritual guidance. It's going to push you to move faster and further than you might be ready. That's okay. You can do it. Keep working on yourself. Keep working on your beliefs and balancing your needs for you. You know, the Divine Masculine is going through his own thing, and with or without them in your life, you still need to have you and be the best you that you can be. So plow forward and move forward, knowing that Spirit is supporting you, and that, yes, the things that are coming are scary, but that's okay. It's happening for a reason, and you will be able to manage this and go in this new direction, and you're going to go farther and higher than you ever thought possible. But hold on, fasten your seatbelts, okay? So, where the Divine Masculine and Feminine going together in their relationship right now? Okay, so we have the Sun, the Wheel, and the Five of Hearts. So the Sun has to do with bliss. It has to do with happiness. The warmth of the sun is radiant. It's joyful. If you're in the sun too long, it can burn, but I don't really think that's the indication here. It has to do with just charisma and joy and life and vitality, and just the sun is the soul energy, right? So it's being in your soul. The next one we have is the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, this is my fate, destiny, karma card. What goes up must come down. What I'm seeing here is that the happiness and joy, there's this element that, yes, this is fated, you're meant to be happy, and this has been brought to you by God for a reason. It's your luck is in your favor. You are meant to be happy. Okay, and there's going to be great joy and happiness together. But there's the Five of Hearts. Okay, Five of Hearts shows 3 cups that are normally spilled or broken. You see here there are 3 broken hearts, but there's 2 hearts that are still intact. And if you think about one of the best cards for romantic relationships, is the Two of Hearts. It's 2 hearts that come together in balance, perfect love. And those are still together. So what I'm seeing here is that you guys, this period is going to be full of vitality and joy, and it's destiny's coming forward. It's going to be a wonderful exchange between the Divine Masculine and Feminine, but there's going to be some heartache and loss as we look back and reflect on what we're giving up to do it. So there might be parts of our identities. It might be relationships that we no longer want, that we thought were meant for us, and then we realize that's not the path we're meant to go on. It could just be that, you know, you might even, for some of you, it might mean taking a break from your partner, but for the most part, given the other cards, I don't think that's the case. It might just be you might be busy, or your schedules might not align, so you'll have a lot of time apart where you'll reflect. So it's a slight bittersweet feeling, but the sun and the wheel are much more positive energies, and so it's like going to Disneyland or going to some sort of music park or some sort of big event that you're really excited about, but it's raining. So it dampens the mood a little bit, but you're still there having a good time, and it's only going to bother you as much as you let it. And I think that's why this card for the Divine Masculine is the advice of the Ten of Swords, is that don't let your thoughts get the best of you. It's not as bad as it seems. Okay? Don't be overwhelmed by the craziness that's here. You know, I think that the energy of the sun and the wheel is saying that God is bringing, and fate are bringing love, joy, and all the things that you kind of dream and hope for, you know. And this card fell down again, the Death card. So it's going to be a transition, though. There's going to be a change, you know. And like when the seasons change, it usually isn't, you know, like overnight the weather just suddenly changes. Usually it kind of eases, you know, it'll go back and forth a little bit. And I think that's kind of the energy that we have here. There's going to be so much love and so much destiny and so much luck and fate at play, but it's still going to be sad to leave some of the things behind that we thought might be forever, and that they're not. but they played an important role for us. And it's okay to have feelings of loss and remorse as we're letting go, but don't be afraid to move forward and be happy. Okay, so I hope this resonated for you. If you're interested in a reading, again, I'm going to offer the sale on my video. If you want to order the full-size reading, I'm going to offer both the full-size reading and the 5-card reading at a lower discounted price than I've offered before. I'm going to leave the other ones at the same sale price I had before to give you guys a chance to order for the holidays if you'd like. But that being said, I wish you happy holidays to all of you who celebrate them. Sending deep love to you all, and I hope this really helps you. Take care. Bye.